Here's how you accomplish anything that you want. I'm not joking at all. I was reading this book by John Kessler, so all credits to whatever thoughts I'm having from the book. I don't know. The first myth that you have to get over is that the amount of effort that you put into something is equal to the outcome, because that is not true. Effort is not the only factor that goes into the outcome. If you notice that you are overly striving and nothing is happening and you're having this struggling to accomplish, or if you're in this place that people might call laziness, or if you're extremely impatient and nothing is happening, then this is for you. There, we're moving from a place of incompleteness, and we need to be moving from completeness in order to also get to completeness in a weird way. Now, everybody has a transcendent quality of satisfaction and completeness deep within them. And in these two poles, we'll call them stillness and striving, you can merge them together. In a sense, they're no longer these two different things. And the stillness and the striving come together into completion and satisfaction. Imagine the feeling that you have after you are in stillness, after you have satisfied your striving. It is this one single experience that is not separate from these two. You can see how if you're moving from a place of incompleteness and unsatisfaction, your stillness will look like struggling or laziness. And you can see that your striving will look like impatience, that nothing is coming and you don't want to be in stillness. And if you're struggling to accomplish, maybe you don't want to be accomplishing, you don't want to be in striving. You cannot reject either of these two things. But when we merge them together and we kind of step into this completion and this satisfaction and let everything else go except for that feeling, then something else emerges from there. And I want you to really try to feel into that quality, because that is key. It is a place that does not reject stillness, and it is a place that does not reject action and striving. And if you feel resistance to sitting still, or if you feel resistance to moving, just notice that and see if you can really accept both of these things until they come together into this satisfaction. We're trying to move from a place of fullness. If you're moving from a place of lacking and deficit, then you will try to fill that with striving over and over and over. Or if you're moving from a place of lacking, where you're lacking stillness, you will constantly be avoiding doing, and it is hard. But when we connect with that place of fullness and satisfaction that every human being has the capacity to feel into, it just might take some practice, or it might happen right away, I don't know. But from that place of satisfaction that I am describing, this striving, this compulsion to do, turns into effortless accomplishment, where it feels like we are in flow and we don't have to try. It doesn't mean that no energy goes into it, but it feels effortless. And that's the difference of that equation of effort and outcome. It feels more like energy than effort. It probably takes energy for you to go to Disneyland, but would you say that it takes effort? Is it hard? It's not an effortlessness in the energy you put in to get something. It's the first step, the initiation of it feels effortless. But we can only get there when we are connected to that fullness. And we can only get there if we do not reject stillness. We deeply need to accept oneness with our present and be still. If you cannot be still, then you cannot effortlessly accomplish. When we're connected to that transcendent quality of completion and satisfaction, then that stillness becomes patience. And we have this divine quality of patience, of knowing when to act. And as the Tao describes, letting the water to clear and the mud to settle, and seeing the right action to appear without trying. You must try to be still. And if you are comfortable being still, then you must try to do. You have an abundance of rest. You have rested. Can you achieve? If you want to achieve, can you move? And can you have the patience to wait? Can you accept stillness so that you can effortlessly do? When we move from these qualities, we are moving not from these compulsions. We can move from satisfaction. And when we can do that, we can much more clearly see our path. And if we do not accept both of these qualities, then we are had by, and we are entangled with our incompleteness, and we are blind to what is meant to be, so to speak. I personally struggle most with this striving of constantly feeling like I have to do something to satisfy in this incompleteness. And I have a really hard time sitting in stillness. But I promise you that when you do, and when you can see, and everything falls into place. Then you're not moved by this egoic competitiveness. When there's a compulsion to do a particular thing, it often means that we have to accept the complete opposite, and recenter them in fullness instead of deficit. And then from that fullness, those qualities transform into these beautiful things that we can call upon. In this case, like I said, this transcendent quality of patience that is so important and beautiful, and this transcendent quality that is effortless accomplishment and flow that is the key to achievement. And that's all.